Bonjour everyone, welcome to another diecast showcase. So today will be a special Free It Friday episode. I'm going to start off with the very few finds that I've made in the last couple weeks. Not a whole lot going on, not spending a whole lot of time on hunting or anything like that. So yeah, I did still manage to find a couple cool things, but not enough to substantiate a full video with. So I decided, you know what, let's open some carded stuff that's been hanging around in the collection for a while. Take the opportunity to do a couple comparos in between different you know, diecast manufacturers doing the same cast. I find that would be interesting, you know, some stuff like that. I always love comparing things of that nature. But nevertheless, let's start with stuff I found. To go through it quickly. You see I've set up the mat here. Thought I'd kind of set this up as a little car show as we go along. Not everything's going to go on the mat though. And I'll start with the things that are definitely not going on the mat. So I did find at the thrift store one grab bag that was really interesting to me. It had all in all 7 pieces in it, 2 of which I gave to my daughter because there was one Hot Wheels fantasy casting that I was not interested in keeping, and like a made in China knockoff 3rd gen Viper coupe, which also I didn't want to keep because it's bad quality and whatnot. However, in this same grab bag, interesting things that were included. First and foremost, this 1/43rd scale little Renault Dacia Duster, a little SUV. I do have a 3-inch version of this from Majorette that comes in a set with a little trailer and a go-kart. This one is from Mondo Motors, so a very cheap diecast brand that is sold in our dollar stores here in Canada. So you can see it's a police livery, and there is a missing accessory. Could be a police strobe, could be an antenna. Not really sure, honestly. But it is pretty well done. Logos, licensed. You got some police livery on here. Lens front and rear lights. Accurate steel wheels, stylized steel wheels. Roof bars that are missing a little bit of paint that I'll probably touch up with a Sharpie. And, you know, very basic base, as you can see. There you go. 1/43rd scale Renault Dacia Duster. Very thin tires, but I'm assuming that's not far off from reality, as these are really cost-effective cars. So yeah, it's a pretty cool little piece. This is a bigger one, so it will not be going onto the pad. Other piece that will not be going to the pad before we get to the stuff that actually will is this really cool Hot Wheels dragster. Wheel setup, especially on the rear, is really cool. It actually has bead lock. Big V8, of course, because it's a top fuel dragster, so that makes sense. It's got all the body with the interesting zebra print on there is all metal. Very basic interior with no steering wheel, just one black seat. Plastic spoilers both on the rear and the front. Tiny little wheels, as you can see on the front as well. And overall, pretty weighty piece. Looks pretty cool, you know. Here's your base. The made in China 93 Mattel ink for Hot Wheels. So I don't know if this was part of like a promotional thing or McDonald's, or I don't know. I have no idea. But I do remember seeing a few of these thrift stores and whatnot, and it was in the bag. So all in all, I kept 5 out of the 7 cars. So we're talking about dollar cars. So Dacia, it's missing a part. Somebody, I had to clean it up a little bit because somebody decided to go and color it up with highlighter, green highlighter, and not a whole lot of it was remaining, but I did tidy it up as best I could. So it's okay, you know, it's an okay condition. Same for the dragster, a couple flea bites and whatnot. But the real interesting stuff, and one of the main reasons I wanted to pick this up, is this beautiful Majorette XJ Cherokee. Based on the wheels, this would be a later rendition of the casting. This is the first time me owning the fire rescue version of the XJ Cherokee. And as opposed to the Matchbox version, which I do have a couple colorways of, this one actually is a 4-door or a 5-door, if you want to consider it that. Light bar, as with all of these, is extremely loose, despite the really good condition of the car. Not perfect, but really good. I mean, this thing's at least 20 years old, so it's not bad at all. It's got lens fronts, a intermediate plastic piece that forms not only the body cladding, but also, as you can see, the interior, which is fairly basic for this majorette. Steering wheel is pretty much a frisbee. You can definitely see a gaping hole under the dashboard driver's side. And it does retain, as the one from my childhood with the police livery did, the opening hatch, which functions pretty good. You see the unpainted versions, which is typical majorette, right? They paint these closed, and too bad so sad if you get the Bears AMAC underneath. And yeah, so these are newer majorette style wheels. This is really funny. Probably going to put a dab of glue there. I'm so scared it'll fall off, but whatever. Here's your base. Obviously not made in France based on the wheels. These would have had the 5-line wheels. They were made in France. It does retain the really cool suspension though that works flawlessly. Nice non-tarnished base. There you go, 1/60th scale. Very nice piece. Very definitely happy to add this. I got a fair few XJ Cherokees here, both Matchbox, Majorette, and also Green Light. So yeah, cool piece to add to the collection. I think this one deserves a spot on our little mat here. There you go. Let's try and focus on the Jeep itself. Although I know through past comments, I know you guys love looking at what's in the background and whatnot, so we'll leave it like that. Last two pieces that I did decide to retain are actually Barago 1/64th pieces. First one that was in the bag in very awesome condition, bar maybe a chip or two and very slightly scratched up windscreen, is this SRT 10 Viper Coupe in the classic blue with white stripes. It's got some aftermarket looking 6-spoke wheels and definitely has a slammed stance, which is pretty cool. I find it's pretty cool, at least. And yeah, so I thought that would be cool to add to the collection, definitely, especially in view of its condition and the fact that these are very hard to find for the most part in Canada. Most big box stores don't have these, so very easy to order off AliExpress or things like that. As you can see, the rear does not have any details except for the Viper logo. That's a shame, because it would have been really nice to have the painted front rear lights. Same thing for the fog lights, maybe the vents in the bumper as well. They're so easy to add anyways, so I might just take a gander at adding those. But front lights are done, Viper logo, and a very, very decent interior with air passing through the spokes of that steering wheel, which is something we like to see. These are plastic wheels, or plastic tires, should I say, and I like the fact that they did take the time to basically mock some disc brakes behind those wheels, so that's pretty cool. Here's your base if ever you're interested in seeing that. I mean, this is not true 164, by the way, but you know, nice 08 Dodge Viper SRT 10 Coupe. Very cool. So we'll put this one here as if it were coming into the parking lot. And we'll finish off with the second Barago piece that I picked up. Not my favorite vehicle from this car manufacturer, but since I only had a Hot Wheels Roadster version of it, I am definitely not unhappy to add the Lamborghini Centenario, which is much better detailed. Wheels are not the best. They're not as good as the Viper's wheels. As you lose the effect of that brake disc as the wheels are much shallower. But the overall detailing is on point. You do have that little line of yellow on the roof with a very hard to see probably here, but little logo right there above the nail of my thumb. Um, Pretty decent front lights, slightly oversized Lamborghini front logo, the yellow detailing on the bottom portion, and the rear that is very well done with an actually very accurately sized Lamborghini script in between those tiny little light bars for the brake lights. Clear cover for the engine, which is barely visible as it's all black plastic. And again, you know, a decent looking interior if we're talking about the molding quality. The top is, the roof is matte black, not perfect. It's kind of, you know, kind of has the washed 3 million times blackboard type of look on it. Again, front windscreen a little bit scuffed up, but overall nice black metallic paint. There's definitely some flake in there, as you can see on the front here. And yeah, pretty cool to get a coupe version, because I do prefer Lamborghini coupes as opposed to roadsters. Now we will get into opening up some cars, freeing some diecast. And we're going to be doing, you know, a combination of semi-premium, premium, a little bit of mainline for comparo, and opening mostly most stuff that's on card is going to be because there's a nice bend in the card itself, so I don't really see the reason why I would keep it on card. First one is a recent pickup from maybe the last video or the one before, the Ultra Hots EFCRX in beautiful Spectra Flame purple. I do have a loose version of the CRX as well as a couple carded ones, but I don't have one that is, well, basically I would consider this the equivalent of a Silverline car, since it is fully detailed on the rear and on the front. This one is plastic based, but yeah, I think it deserves to be freed, since the card does have a big bend on the opposite side of that J-hook. So let's get it out of the packaging here. Good looking car. I definitely like it. You know, it's very you know, 90s era tuning looking. If we're talking about the deco, the Ultra Hot wheels kind of work with this model. It's of the era. You know, these kind of wheels in the 80s would have been more popular, but in the 90s there was still a little bit of it going around. I've always loved this casting. It doesn't have the most accurate wheel fitment, but it is very, very well proportioned, and with the full details, you know, with 5 passes on this car, plus that beautiful purple. I mean, it's definitely a good looking car. So, second EF CRX out of the package, loose, to add to the collection. So definitely that one is going to go right over here. You won't see it a whole lot, but there we go. It's there, you know, we can see that corner a little bit. And also something I have not cracked an exemplar of in quite some time. I had picked this up also, probably the video before the one where I showed off the CRX. This really cool 1970 Dodge Dart Swinger with the 340 cubic inch V8. So this would be the, let's just say, the high performance mainstream version, because there were Dart GTSs with 440s and even Hemis, but those were definitely not, they were barely made for street use. Definitely not something that you could daily drive, much too finicky with overheating and huge engine in a tiny package, because this was basically the smallest, you know, Dodge vehicle in 1970 you could actually buy. So again, same problem. We have a huge crease on the card, which unfortunately I was not intending to create, but I did coming home after purchasing this model. Plus there's a little bit of residue for that from that price tag that was on there, unfortunately. Stores that sell diecast always stick it on the plastic if you're going to tag things, because it's much easier to remove for people that collect carded. This is something I would have kept carded, but at the same time, I do have the Auto Drivers version of this from N2 in green, which is really awesome. And the packaging is actually in good condition, because it's a little bit more pliable than this really thick plastic. So let's crack open a Johnny. Definitely looking forward to having this one in hand. There we go. Very heavy piece, because obviously this, you know it's going to be metal on metal. So here it is in a little clamshell we're going to remove. And here's your model. Very nice piece. Very weighty. Very, very weighty. Metal base, of course. Rubber tires. Nice level of detail. We have the opening hood, where you can see that little 340. Very well detailed. Separate piece engine. It is metal. Or is it a separate piece? I don't even know if it would be a separate piece. I'm assuming so, because I mean, if they want to do different versions of this with different engines, like the 318 or something like that. This is one of those hoods. The gap is pretty bad, but it does close and open and doesn't leave a bigger gap after you've opened it once, which is commendable. We can see in here that it has the matching interior vinyl seats to match that nice metallic blue color, which is called light poly blue, from what I can see on the card. Vinyl top. I've always loved how you have this concave back glass. You got that wraparound stripe. All the details are there with the little Dart Swinger logo right here. You've got the dog dish chrome caps with the color-coded Steelies on black wall tires. Great setup. Would have been even better with redline tires in my opinion, but that's just me. And here's your rear end with the license plate, which Johnny Lightning always does. It's written on here. 70 Dart. So it's written 70 Dart. There we go. Great stuff. Great stuff. This is a beautiful piece. I really like this. And we're going to get to open some more Mopar goodness, as well as to compare some. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave it to the end there. So far, we've got an American emergency support vehicle, an American sports car, or borderline supercar with the SRT10, a hypercar, a Italian hypercar with the Centenario, as well as a little tuner car with the CRX. And now we've got some classic American class of 70 muscle, basically, I'm going to call it. Let's just say that. If we go forward a decade to the 80s, I do have a Maisto set that I really wanted to open because the packaging is kind of rough. And I have opened one of these in the past with the same hauler, but I really wanted to get my fingers and on the actual car in this set. And that would be this Maisto design Chevy set. So with the 57 Chevy flatbed. Very cool that it's a licensed flatbed, which is always fun to see. As well as 87 slammed Chevy Caprice. And there's a reason why I want to open this one. We're going to check it out right away, and you'll soon figure out why. So Maisto packaging like this. Very easy to open. Drama-free. And there we go. Pretty big piece. So it comes with a clamshell like this. Very cheap, plastic. And to remove the car, we've got a little insert here that holds it in place. Not a bad thing to have. And it's really molded to keep everything in place. I apologize for the racket. Take out the truck first. Follow along with the car. There we go. All right. So we'll look at it as is. So this hauler, the bed actually does extend out and tip, and you can push it back in place. And if ever it kind of gets seized and you pull on it and it comes off, it is very easy to reattach. It doesn't break off, basically. So let's start by looking at the truck first and foremost. So I have another version, as mentioned, of this in blue. pretty much different liver on the door or on the side, should I say, but all the rest is pretty much the same white roof, but with Smurf blue paint. This one in yellow is very loud. I like the strobe in red, very cool. Yeah, you know, it's a well detailed piece. You know, you've got all the little lights on the side. That rear bumper's done. You know, the white wall tires with the steelies look really nice. The white walls. You know, nice slammed stance on the front with those tucked wheels. A little bit of a defect on the white wall application there, but you know, no biggie. It's not a big deal. You can just turn it around and as if you never saw that in the first place. And here's the iconic 57 front for that pickup. Definitely a nice piece of kit. You know, interior is hard to see, but it's okay. It's pretty decent. You know, you've got an actual real steering wheel, and I believe this is probably bigger than the 164, even the 3-inch or the 164 that Maisto normally does. If we're talking about the scale of the cab, because this is a pickup cab, right? I think I have one I can compare in size that's already big. It's not a 57, but I mean, just compare the size of the cab to this 56 Chevy truck from Hot Wheels. And I mean, this is already bigger than 164, so this is big. This is real big. But yeah, it's a nice truck. It's nice that it's licensed. This is all metal. This is all plastic base, as you can see, with the transmission, drive shaft, and diff painted in silver. And there you go. So, and yeah, single wheels in the back as opposed to dually wheels. Would have been nice to see dually wheels, but hey, you can't have it all. And these are surprisingly cheap as well. Oh, there you go. Gotta yeah, the tires and the white walls are separate pieces. The white walls are actually plastic, so these tend to have to be readjusted once in a while, but no big deal. So yeah, we got this big hauler here, which we'll put in the back over here, I guess. And now we have this really cool 87 Caprice. This casting's been around for a very long time, and I mean, even this packaging, it's a re-release of something that came out already before. These come in boxes as well as the big blister packs like you just saw. I prefer personally having them in the boxes because you can actually repackage them very easily. They're not screwed in or anything like that. And you can see this is an old casting just by the fact that it has the inevitable chromed steering wheel. Very, very mid to late 2000s in its execution when they were doing the players and the all-stars and all that good stuff. Yeah, a few painted details on the bottom. And this is actually pretty close to 164 scale, honestly. The proportions are not the best, but it's pretty darn close. You'll notice that the wheel arches are a little bit weird in the way that they are actually shaped. And there is a reason for that. It's because this casting was used in a whole variety of different ways. And to actually demonstrate that, I pulled out an older Maisto version of this casting. Still an 87 Caprice, but done up in a totally different style. This was part of the Maisto Premium Donk collection, which they did do. I believe probably around, 2006 or something like that. When was this licensed? There's no year. It says used under license. But yeah, here's the Donk version in very cool, very bright metallic red. So you can see right here on the back. What is this written here? Is it written Donks? Very hard to make out. Very, very hard to make out what's written there. I don't know. Either way, you guys can look it up there. There's not a million 164 scale donks out there, especially not specifically 87 Caprice by Maisto. But this one does have a partially metal base. You can see how the setup there for the lift is done. In the back, it's pretty accurate, actually. Yeah, you can see the wheels have something that was really popular, those kind of like a body color coded filler in between the spokes of those big chrome wheels. I don't know, what are these, 26s maybe? I don't know. Bumpers on both the slammed and the lifted version are separate pieces, so those you have to be careful. They are a little fragile. And as you can see, it has the exact same detailing front and back as the yellow version. So got all the badging and all that good stuff. So I thought that'd be cool to compare how this was used in a bunch of different flavors. And this is why basically the arches are shaped the way they are, because donks, you do need to alter the actual arches to make sure the wheels actually don't rub, or the tires should I say, especially the front ones when you're turning. So but I thought, it's one of those things. It's not as fashionable as it was. It's not as popular as it was, the donks. But I find it's definitely a cool little trio right there of Chevys. Next up, I thought we'd open up another set. And I've been wanting to open up this set for quite some time, honestly. Quite some time. Because I also wanted to make another custom set, basically. So this is the set we're going to be opening. So as you can see, it is a Dodge D100 from '64 with the tandem car trailer, the 2-axle trailer, and it's in the Ram Chargers livery. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open this quick, and I do have a couple of Ram Charger liveried cars. Obviously, they're Mopars as well. And I just wanted to basically kind of make a set out of it, This is the potentially first, maybe second hitch and tow. I don't open up a whole lot of these. I normally do tend to keep them carded. So this is going to be a cool one to, just see how the packaging opens. Is it easy? Is it hard? So far, the trusty X-Acto's getting through this in a pretty straightforward manner. Not overly tough plastic to work with, but I'm going to try and open it carefully around the trailer, because there's little parts and everything like that. As you saw, the ramps are separate, and you've got the stand also that's separate. So I want to make sure that I don't lose anything here. I think that should be enough of an opening that I'll actually be able to take this out pretty easily. Okay, that's one side. And there we go. Perfect. All right. So I'm thinking this is probably the best way to get this out, right? We're going to take out the trailer, since it's definitely excited about getting out of there. So there's your trailer. I'm going to get this weird looking, or weird liveried truck, should I say. It's not weird looking, it's just weird liveried truck, especially the front wheels right here. Now we'll get out the little stand for the trailer, which is a little bit of piece of tape on it, so to keep it in place inside that bubble. Sure, this won't take too long. Apologies for the wait. There we go. Okay, it's actually metal or plastic. I think this is plastic, actually. Okay, so let's install this. Oh boy, this feels definitely very very fragile, to be honest with you. Does it just push in, or do I have to actually... Is this threaded at all? Is it going down, or... Sorry guys, I'm just discovering this at the same time as you, so... Yeah, seems to be threaded. It just goes down very, 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 very slowly. But yeah, we'll leave it like this. So here's the addition of that little accessory right here. And of course, you're gonna need those ramps. I'm guessing this is probably gonna be the hardest part to remove, the ramps. I'm gonna just deconstruct the package a little bit more. Oh boy, give this a push. Yeah, okay, they pop right out basically once you push on them. Careful, careful. Also plastic pieces, by the way. These ramps are not metal. And these ramps obviously just attach right to the rear. go. There we go. That's 1. And that is 2. There we go. Oh boy. Okay. Okay, so these do lift up pretty well. This one's a little bit crooked. Well, there we go. All right. Yeah, just need a little bit of persuasion. So, all right, we got our completed kit. There we go. It looks pretty cool. With the stand that you can lower as much as you want. I just left it like that just for time's sake. And your working ramps that can be lowered as so. And there you go. You can drive your cars up the ramps and all that kind of fun. All right, so the reason why I wanted to get this here is that I do have 2 slightly touched up, detailed Hot Wheels cars that are actually also Ram Chargers liveried. I've shown these before, so that would be my Hellcat and the 67 Dart, I believe this is. The 67? 68 Dart. Apologies there. So I thought the Dart would look really good on that trailer. If we push it forward, we can actually, well, we'll leave the ramps down for now. Yeah. Yeah, we've got the support vehicle with this Hellcat, so that's pretty cool. We'll move the trailer around. I do want to take a couple minutes, or maybe 1 minute, let's say, to actually look at the truck in a little bit more detail. So, 1964 D100 Dodge pickup. Gonna get some focus on here. There you go. Yeah, so those steelies in front painted half red, half white. I find pretty funny. Must be quite psychedelic looking going down the street. Black rims on the back. Opening hood. What looks to be a V8. Not exactly sure, but yeah. So painted details on the front, full livery. A little bit of details in the back too. Full metal. Rubber tires once more. This is a really, really heavy piece. Very hard to make out what's written on the base. Very, very faint, but that's kind of a green light thing, I guess. I don't know if you guys can make that out at all, but there you go, if ever. If you want to do a pause and zoomage, feel free. So this is a casting that was licensed in 2023, so pretty recent casting. And as usual with green light, you got a really nice interior. It's kind of hard to see, obviously, because, well, it's black. But, yeah, overall, pretty well done. Pretty well done, indeed. So, I definitely find this really cool. Thought it would be a nice trio of cars. Park this here. Get this thing on there so the trailer holds in place. And we'll leave the good old SRT Hellcat right in front here. So there you go. A nice little trio of cars right there. Getting towards the end, guys. I thought also I'd open up. Haven't opened up an M2 in quite some time, and since I picked up a few in a recent hunt, thought I'd try out my luck in the QC area of things in getting a square body open, because I have never set loose a square body M2 before, and I thought it would be a good opportunity for a nice comparison. So here's the square body in question. It's the Gulf liveried one. It's pretty current, probably available in your local Walmarts and Targets and wherever else M2s are sold for you. So we're gonna open this one up. I'm gonna open up the seals on one side very carefully, because I don't want to damage the box. And we'll get her cracked open in just a second, basically. There we go. Both seals are opened on this side. Always retract your blade. Get this open. And this is the Authentic series, obviously, the small boxed ones, as opposed to the auto drivers that normally don't have opening parts and are not going to have as many lensed features. So here's your little Golf liveried box. Pretty nice box, which obviously I'm going to keep. And here is your square body in its acrylic case. So that's very, very nice, as the toy pimp would say. So your diecast need never see dust. Definitely a problem. Dust is definitely a problem, especially if you have animals. So yep. So we're gonna get the little acrylic cover off, as that little M2, typical M2 sticker. And we are going to undo the 2 screws on the bottom that hold this nice little square body in place. At first glance, just looking at it, I'm going to open the hood to see if it offers resistance. It definitely does offer resistance. I'll give you a peek of what's under the hood here. Yeah, it looks like an LS. So let's try and tell if this is an LS, I guess. Oops, sorry about that. That's pretty much the best zoom image I'm going to be able to get. It's very springy. It doesn't want to open. It just wants to close that right up again. But this is definitely an LS. Looks like a vet motor with the red valve covers and the loop-de-loop intake runners in the middle. But the hood does close really well, which is great. It doesn't leave a huge gap or anything like that after you open it once. Again, something that is definitely something that could happen. To get it off the base, I'm actually using one of these little M2 auto kit screwdrivers that come with the assemble it yourself type of kits. So we're gonna take off the screws one at a time. It actually works really, really well, and doesn't tend to strip the bolts, as you know, obviously these were made to do exactly what I'm doing right now. By the way, if you made it this far, thanks for hanging in there. There's we're going to do comparo here, and there's going to be 2 last cars that we're going to be popping open, and I think that it should be pretty interesting, the last 2 that we're going to check out. But before we get to the finale, let us check out this Golf liveried square body. So it's got the nice tan interior, very well done in my opinion, very good. It's got the blacked out turbine style wheels, obviously metal on metal since this is an Authentics as opposed to the auto drivers that normally have a plastic base. Also, another difference is the fact that you get these lensed lights on the auto drivers, which will be painted on Authentics. Nicely done box. Unfortunately, the back of this one does not open because of this weird shallow truck bed. Not too crooked if we're talking about bed versus body lineup. A little bit, it could be perfected a little bit. There's still a gap. It's pretty visible. But overall, not bad. I've seen way worse ones, and I've actually not picked up some that the gap was just too blatantly visible. So here's your metal base. Much easier to read the details on here versus the green light. So 73 Chevy truck. I like this. You know, it's kind of a slam street setup with the legendary Golf livery. I mean, yes, it to a certain point is played out, but I mean, I thought this was a good opportunity to be able to compare a square body. So these in my neck of the woods cost about $13 Canadian, which would be about $8 US at Walmart. So I'm assuming pretty much the same price as in the States. So $8 and US. And normally a premium Hot Wheels would be what, maybe $2 less, I'm assuming, for you guys in the States, and for us in Canada they're about $9, $8-9. So $4 more. So I do have a 10-year newer square body truck, and I thought it'd be cool to look at them side by side, Hot Wheels versus M2. Now, definitely not the same, you know. It's two different things. I'm gonna just try and get some zoomage more in the front here. There we go. So we've got the 5-slot Real Riders on the Gulf liveried Hot Wheels square. So the chrome wheels, in my opinion, look better than the blacked out M2 wheels. Surprisingly, the M2 wheels are staggered on this versus the Hot Wheels that is actually all same diameter. We do have, of course, the different badging on the side on that front fender. Older style on the 73, newer style, which I used to see all the time. These trucks rolling down the street when I was a kid, and I remember that logo very well. Of course, the front lights, definitely different. You got the vertical stacked square lights on the newer version with the custom grille, whereas the OEM old school one is personally my favorite for the lights on this. On the back, obviously stock versus modified. So you got good Golf on the back. You got the regular Chevy polished piece in the middle of that drop tailgate. Bumper delete with the dual exhaust. This one also has a dual exhaust, but there's no bumper delete, and it's slammed so you can't really see it. It's kind of tucked. And yeah, two different takes on a Golf Square. And yeah, let me know in the comments which one you like the best. Would you go Hot Wheels or would you go M2 for this specific casting? Be curious to see the opinions on that. So we put all our Chevys in the back here. And last but not least, I mean, we are doing a car show, so I don't think any car show would be complete without a couple of supercars. Obviously, we already have the Lamborghini that we briefly saw that's still roaming in the corner. I want to make sure that we actually get to see something else, so I decided to open up this poster car that I picked up, you know, just for fun. This is actually the same price in Canada as a Hot Wheels Premium, and I thought that'd be a cool thing to check out. Is this better bang for your buck versus a Hot Wheels Premium? I've never had one of these out of package, so it's going to be interesting to see. As you can see, it is the Koenigsegg Jesko Absolute in sweet mandarin, very metallic orange, and black trim throughout. So I'm going to start by taking the cellophane off here so we can get a better view of the packaging as it stands before it gets opened. Alright, so here it is. Out of the box, much better view. This is from the first wave, I believe. So not for children under 3 years old. You can see the production here. And all that good stuff. Feel free to pause it if you want. Pretty easy. Easier than this is more like the stuff that I've purchased from AliExpress in the past. It's much less intricate to open versus a what you saw with the M2. So here it is. Looks good inside that acrylic case. So far so good, eh? Yeah. Let's get her out of the packaging, and I believe this is a no screw type of thing on the bottom. Oh no, there's one screw on the bottom, as you can see. So we'll just take out the screw. Be very careful not to break off one of those very, very delicate mirrors. That's probably why they put the... Let's see if the M2... Oh yeah, the M2 screwdriver is doing a great job. No stripping of the little bolt, or the little, screw. And slowly but surely it is coming out of the base of the car. Not quite yet, not quite yet. This screw actually goes deeper than I thought into the base of the car. Surprising. Very surprising. There we go. No, not yet. Jeez, how long is this screw? Does this make the shifter in the cabin, for crying out loud? All right. Yeah, sorry, that's a bad joke, but you know, it's kind of what it felt like. So, I mean, seriously, I mean, it's not a big screw, but overall, it's pretty long. Oh, and it fell on the ground. Oh, great. Okay, well, it doesn't matter. All right, first and foremost, one thing that I really wanted to check, is it a roller? Oh my god. Sorry about that, Mr. Ram Charger. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so definitely a good roller, actually. Very smooth rolling. Not a little bit, the little bit tiniest amount of diciness, but rolls really well. So first and foremost, plastic base. Obviously, that is going to cause it to not be as heavy in hand. Very, very bland base. But that's fine because a lot of these cars did have a flat, you know, a flat belly pan. So kind of makes sense. But the details are awesome. Great, great QC, honestly. I can't really see any type of flaw here. So you have the wheel covers in the back to promote aerodynamism. You've got those infamous twin fins on the back. Very, very well proportioned rear view mirrors. Lensed rear lights. Lensed front lights. And a nice dark, how should we call this? It's kind of like a brownish orange kind of interior color. A lot of glare on that very bright clear glass, but this is a nice little piece of kit. Very light, but very, very well executed. Love the brakes in the back of those front alloy wheels. All the little details are there. There you go. Here's your rear. The Esco license plate. Very, very well done. Very well done. And for the sake of it, since I stumbled upon it in a dollar store, I thought, hey, this could be a great opportunity to compare this to a Hot Wheels. Although I do not have a premium version of the Hot Wheels Koenigsegg casting. I did stumble upon the pretty much carbon copy of the mainline. So is this a better alternative to something that's about four and a half times the price? Well, let's check it out and figure it out, because I don't have a loose one of these. So I only have one release of the Koenigsegg, and it would be the OG one. So here's your Hot Wheels Koenigsegg to compare. So obviously no lens lights, but the details are there. So that's good. It's obviously not an absolute, this one, so it's not exactly the same. The striping's not the same. The wing is not the same either. The wing actually on this one does restrict the top speed a little bit. It does give downforce, but less top speed. So it's got black OH5, so that's pretty, you know, basic. No side details whatsoever, but there's not a whole lot on the poster car either. No rear deets except for the central part here that does have the Koenigsegg script, as well as the exhaust, center exhaust there, but no lights. Yeah, in the top part there's a little bit of chip on the top of that black deco here. So this is a one pass. Oh, well, no, technically it's a 2-pass car, but I mean, they could have done rear lights with that rear pass, honestly. But yeah, overall, I mean, I don't mind paying 4 times the price to get this versus this. And again, you guys let me know in the comments. You agree with that? Do you prefer to get 4 different colorways of the Esco from Hot Wheels, or do you prefer to get one really good one, or pretty good one at least? I mean, I'm sure it's not the best one, but it's pretty darn good, as you saw from Poster Cars. So we'll end the video there. Curious to see what your thoughts are on this. Hope you enjoyed this little car show. I definitely enjoyed making it, that's for sure. Yeah, if you want to be advised of when I upload next, feel free to subscribe, Of course, I'll definitely wish you all the best of luck in your hunts. All the best out there. Stay safe. And if this I can get to stay in place, this should be a nice final shot. There you go. So, yeah, enjoy your weekend. And I will catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.